Thank you so much for watching RIF TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview. Hey, first of all, I've been in this business 32 years. How come our paths have never really crossed until now? That's kind of crazy, I think.
I know, that is nuts.
I can remember playing songs off the first record, and I met Rob one time backstage at a Guns N' Roses Metallica concert. I've met Sebastian a few times, but I've never run across you or Snake or anybody. So,
oh, that's funny, man.
It's weird how this world works. But anyways, thanks so much for joining me, man. How's things going with you guys?
Oh, it's going great, man. We're having a blast. We're having an absolute blast.
Yeah, are you right now in your hotel room in Las Vegas?
Yeah. Doing we're out here for the Scorps residency.
Yeah, that's awesome. How's that going?
It's going great. We just got show 4 was done last night. We have 5 more to go.
Yeah, and is that at Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood. Yep.
Yeah, I was there a couple years ago, and Chris Angel was that was his place, right?
Yeah, he's got a theater here on the mezzanine level. It's like it's his whole theater. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was there with Blas Elias. We went and saw Chris Angel, so that was a lot of fun.
God, I haven't seen Blas in so long, man.
Well, he's in Vegas. Maybe you should hit him up.
Is he here?
Yeah.
All right, I will. I'm gonna hit him up.
I don't know if you guys number. I'll hit you up on the DM on the Instagram, and I'll give you his number. But
okay, cool.
Anyways, yeah, Sin City residency. That's pretty cool with the Scorpions. And so, what is it like when you go? When you all of a sudden announce a new singer, and a couple weeks later you have this big tour to do?
Yeah, everything happened really fast, like really, really fast. And we got Eric in the band, got him to demo a couple things. Well, we got him to demo a couple things for us, and for the new album.
Wait, hold on. How far back was that?
Not far, man. Not far. Like we just actually met him in person the Tuesday before last. We talked on Zoom, and we've been communicating because he's been doing the vocals on the new record. He started with the single, recording them remotely in Sweden. And then, we talked to him on Zoom a million times about, the vocals and whatnot. But the first time we met him in person was a week ago from this past Tuesday.
Yeah, I heard that. So when you guys are set up for the Scorpions, now this tour and this residency has probably been set up for a while now. Do you guys have to tell the Scorpions, hey, look, we're going to have a new lead singer with us?
Yeah. I mean, we need to let them know. We needed to let Live Nation know, and everyone was cool with it.
Yeah, because that's kind of weird. It's like, wait a second, where's the guy you just had?
Yeah, no, everyone was totally cool with it. It's Eric, over in Europe, he's a pretty popular dude over there, and so the Scorps, most of the Scorps were familiar with him. And so it wasn't a problem at all.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I don't know, you get the singer and maybe he doesn't show up or what happened, but
did his plane land?
That's right. So tell me about this record, because the record comes out in October. And of course you worked with Nick down there in Nashville, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nick Raskelin. So anyway, so you guys have, how long ago did you guys, finish recording, or what's the deal with the album?
Well, we're actually finishing the vocals tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and we've been sending it to Nick, and getting the thumbs up or thumbs down, and he's been mixing. We're almost done mixing. We only have like 3 songs to mix, and then going to mastering soon. But we've been working a way we've never worked before. First of all, like one band member being across on the other side of the planet, and then just now we're out here doing this and still sending stuff. But the digital age, man, it made it a lot easier for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, this has to be once. I mean, you guys couldn't have ever recorded like this before. I'm assuming when you guys recorded your first few albums or something, you were probably in a room together, right?
Yeah, we did pre-production together, and then we just kind of we wherever we did it, we were there for 2.5 months.
Yeah. And so far the live stuff that I've heard that's been all over the internet sounds like really good. Like I was like, wow, this guy does sound great. So, I mean, you guys had to have known going in that he could, give you guys what you wanted or whatever the case is, right?
Absolutely. There's such a great backstory to Eric. We toured together in 2019 when he was in the band Heat. They were opening for us, and I heard his voice from the dressing room. And I was like, "Whoa, this guy has pipes, man!" I went out and I watched a couple shows, and he was just really fun to watch. He was cool on stage. He sang amazing, and just kind of always stuck in the back of my head. Like, if we have any downtime, maybe I'll hit him up and say, "Hey, you want to do a side project or whatever?" And then I find out that he won Idol in Sweden in like 2009 or something. I was like, wow, that's impressive. That because he has an incredible control, like vocal control, and just his pitch is killer. He's a total package. So then now we get into this year, and I see he recorded 18 in Life just for his YouTube channel. And I was like, wow, this is impressive. This is really, really impressive. So when things happened the way they did, I just shot at him inbox or a DM on Instagram. I said, "Hey, man, long time no see." I mean, we really barely spoke when we were on tour together. Those guys were, passing the hallway a couple times. I said, "Hey, man, Rach from Skid Row, if you got a second, here's my email. Can you hit me back?" And so he did. And then we exchanged phone numbers, started talking, and we were seeing if he could do some shows with us. And then, we just got the idea. We're like, well, let's send him some new stuff and see if he digs it, if he likes it. And he sang on it. Within 24 hours, we got it back. And myself and the guys and Nick were like, whoa, what is happening here? This is pretty awesome. So we asked him to be in the band. And
now, when was this?
Let's see, when was it? It wasn't maybe a month and a half ago. Maybe I'm getting my timeline screwed up, I'm sure, and it just happened so fast, and he put his stuff together really fast. And he just say, "Hey, what do you think about this part? This is what I'm thinking the story might mean." And honestly, dude, for not knowing someone, it was like the dude was in our head with our vision of what the song was. And that's no BS, man. It really was. It came back, and Snake and I we were laughing. We were like laughing, just like, you got to be kidding me, man. This is what we heard. This is what was going on in our head. And it just came together so fast. And here we are. He's almost done with the record, and we're out with this, doing the Scorps residency as our kickoff for his first shows with us. But what was funny, when Snake and I were on a Zoom with him and said, "Hey, man, would you like to be the new singer of Skid Row?" He looked away, and we were like, I was like, "No, this dude's gonna say no."
Did you have a plan B?
Not really at that point, man. We were just so excited about the way it sounded. And he looked away for a second and hesitated. I'm like, damn it. And then he's like, "Yes, of course, of course." And then he explained how 18 in Life was pretty much the beginning of that song, was the beginning of his career, his musical career. And he explained it all to us. I go, "Okay, now I see the hesitation, but you gave me a friggin' heart attack."
Well, you kind of touched on it, but what are the stresses and the challenges of bringing a new guy into the band, especially a singer? I mean, that's the focal point of your band.
Yeah. It is a challenge, and you're under a microscope for sure. This time was different though, man. It's just different. His ability and his, just the way he does things, and his work ethic is one I've never seen, other than the four of us that are already in the band. He just doesn't stop until he gets things absolutely right. Like, whether it's his version, like what he thinks is right or what we think is right, he is like, he works hard. And you could see why he had the success he did overseas, because he's a really, really hard working singer that takes care of his instrument and that takes pride in his craft.
Now, I'm like a hockey guy and stuff. And sometimes, before a game or whatever, and, not that I ever played any sort of high level, but it's like it takes that first like pop. So when you guys go out there on stage for the first time, open up for the Scorpions, or was it open up? What was the first gig you guys played?
Scorpions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing them right into the frying pan. Right.
Yeah.
So are you like kind of like holding your breath for the first couple songs and like waiting for that first pop and all of a sudden then you're good?
Yeah, we all really wanted to get that first one under our belt,
Right.
that first show as a whole. But yeah, we just we're like, okay, let's do this, man. Because we had 2 days of rehearsal. We got together on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Then we took a day off so he could rest his voice. And plus, he's jet lagged by 9 hours,
Yeah, right.
And so we and then we all just got together and talked and was like, okay, let's try and get this, this rhythm of the pace of the show and this and that. And then just, the first downbeat hit and we were out on stage. And I just remember looking over at Snake after Eric started singing, and I look at Snake and he was just smiling, and like, we're tough guys. We're not supposed to smile on stage. You know what I mean? So
but at that moment, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, honestly, dude, from the minute he opened his mouth and just his timing is impeccable. And yeah, we knew it was going to be cool. And each show has gotten even better, because we're learning each other's rhythm on stage, so it's, when I walked away from that show, I said to Eric, I go, this was show 1. I cannot wait for show 100. It's going to be amazing.
Well, unfortunately, no shows here in Detroit. I don't know how that happened, but you will be over in Windsor, I think, right across the border coming up in the middle of summer, but maybe next year. But the record drops coming up in October. And, of course, the title track is out. The Gang's All Here. I see some other songs, Resurrected, Not Dead Yet, and maybe some stuff talking about your career, talking about the band. Talk about the rest of the record.
Yeah, this record was so much fun to make, and that's mostly due to Nick Raskulinix. He took us, and when you're a band around as long as we have, you don't even notice how far you stray from your roots. And he took us right back there, man, because we would walk in with ideas and he'd be like, I love that. Or walk in with another one that sucks. That's not Skid Row. And you just sit there and go, but I'm in Skid Row. So how's it? But, and he's like, and he would say that to us multiple times. He goes, what I'm hearing is you guys are afraid to be Skid Row. And he pulled this out of us. And it was all of a sudden, I
was he right?
He was absolutely 100% right.
And what do you think you were afraid to be Skid Row?
I don't know because we've been around so long, and it's just, there's been so much life in between our first album and now, and, when we wrote the first record, Snake and I think we're 21 and 22 years old. And, now we're both almost 60, and it's just like, there's a lot of life in between there and a lot of Jack Daniels. So we,
join the club. Yeah.
Yeah. So we, just you can't help it. You just stray away. I think every band does. I think every band has that moment where they just, okay, I don't know where I'm going. You drive, So Nick got in there and drove, and he just pointed these things out. And I remember for myself distinctly when it clicked for me that I get what he's saying. We were in pre-production and he told me to play this bass part again and again and again. He goes, I want you to play it here and I want you to play it there. And I'm like, man, isn't that too busy? And blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, that's what you would have done in like 89 and 90. And I was like, wow, he is so right. Just getting lazy over the years. So yeah, that's when it clicked for me, and everything just kind of came to light and became Skid Row again.
So is Nick like the kind of guy, like, I never met him before, but is he kind of guy he does his homework?
He's first of all, he's a creative force, and he'll just come up with ideas on the spot while he's listening to each of us play the song, and he'll just go and stand by one of us and listen. And then, you know, just lean over and say, hey, do this while you're playing. I'm like, this, you know, his research, if we call it that, is being a fan, a music fan, and he's a fan of the band. And when we got together, it was evident, and his memory is ridiculous. It could be 2 weeks later after we did something in pre-production. He's like, you didn't do that slide on the bass that you did last time you got together. I was like, that was 2.5 weeks ago. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? He remembers every little detail, but he's such a music fan, and he's a very creative musician, which helped guide us in the right direction as well.
Yeah. So you were actually down in Nashville with him then for several weeks or whatever?
Yeah, I live there, and so does Nick.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and that's how we actually became buds, because we went out to dinner one night, you know, our wives and us, and he's like, let's do a Skid Row record. And I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah, I want to do a Skid Row record, man. I grew up listening to you guys. Just out of the blue, he says this. I was like, don't play with my heart, man. You know?
Yeah, don't ask me twice, right?
Yeah, I'm a, you know, huge fan of his work, you know, and just thinking of all the bands that he's done, and for you know, what are we referred to now? A heritage act? Is that what we're called now? And you know, the bands he worked with are just like new for the most part, with the exception of Rush. And we were like, yeah. I remember calling Snake. I said, man, Nick wants to produce our record. And we're like, okay, cool. There was never any of us going, are you sure? You're sure we want to do this?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good pedigree. There's no question. What is it like for a band like Skid Row, like you said, Heritage Act, to release a record in 2022 with a career like as long as yours?
It's so far, since the single, it's been awesome. It's been really awesome. And the reaction we've got off it, just the stuff online and the reaction videos and just the fan reviews, and, you know, we're getting played on radio again. This is just something that we've been wanting for a long, long time, you know, and something we've been working on for a long, long time. But man, we've been working so hard on this record and so hard on these songs that now it's like it's showing what the effort, you know, it's paying off. All that hard work is starting to pay off because people are enjoying the music, and I can't wait till the whole record's out, because I think like the Skid Row fan is gonna freak. I think they're gonna freak, because it's everyone that has heard the whole record is just like, man, this bridges the gap between your first record and Slave to the Grind.
Wow,
and,
really? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, okay, cool, because that's how I felt too. You know?
I mean, just some great records. I mean, obviously the first one was Slave to the Grind. It's just so good. But yeah, the first single, The Gang's All Here, just a ripper. And of course, that bass line you got cranked up on there. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a fun song.
Well, listen, next time you come through Detroit, we'll have to say hello, or else it'll be another 32 years. I won't be able to see or interact with you some way, shape, or form. I don't know how that ever happened. But anyways, well, good to see you, Rachel. Thanks so much for the time, and good luck with everything this year.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, see you, dude.
See you.